Hi guys, so if you're new to my channel, I'm gonna leave the link on my Kibbe image identities playlist down below, so-called body types. I'm doing this series as a style review of all those alt Hollywood stars that are officially in David Kibbe's celebrities list as this or that body type, and overall there are 13 of them, and this is number 13. Finally, we got to the end of the list. So today we're gonna talk about Vivien Leigh, as it was his prime celebrity representing that theatrical romantic type. But of course we're gonna talk more about the stars, the celebrities, discuss their style. Leave me the comment down below which celebrity you really want me to review style of, and then maybe if she's not in David Kibbe's celebrities list, I'm gonna try and type her. Like, we're gonna try to find her body type. But again, as David Kibbe says, it's a parlor game. We only can do as much with the photos that we have, with the data that we have. And also some people are a bit harder to say what their type is than another. But I can try. Why not? I mean, it's a game. Okay, so if we talk about Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh is a theatrical romantic type. So she's not tall. She's 5'3". Normally, theatrical romantics are moderate in size to petite. They can't be too tall. She has very soft features, very bird-like structure. Short bones, narrow bones, roundness and softness. They can have sometimes a narrow hourglass figure. They have bird-like hands and feet. They look very lush and voluptuous. They look very ornate. So Vivien Leigh was born in 1913 in British India, in Darjeeling. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress twice for her amazing performance as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind in 1939, and Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951. She passed away when she was 54 in 1967. So the decades we're gonna observe in terms of her outfits were a bit of 30s, 40s, 50s, and the beginning of the 60s. So we won't see 70s, we won't see 80s, we won't see up to now, unfortunately. Of course, I couldn't find casual photos of her on the street. I found some casual photos of her, but still she was dressed for a certain occasion, so she knew that she would be photographed. So probably we don't even have any pictures of her at home without makeup, without full glam on her. But it's not the problem, because you see, in this series we still are observing mostly about that alt Hollywood style and how women were dressed accordingly to their type. And also we're not looking at the style itself, because 30s, 40s, 50s, the clothes that they were making in the shops, they were pretty similar from one to another, the way they made the clothes, right? So we mostly are talking about not the style, but about the silhouette, fabric, and the overall combination. If we talk about her makeup, red lips, sharply defined lash line, thin rounded brows, contour and blush, and very defined lashes. And that was probably the same through the decades. So we could see her in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, of course, when she was playing in the movies. Of course, all that glamorous era of Hollywood really influenced on every star we're looking at, on how they were dressed and how they did their makeup. And of course, there were makeup artists who did their makeup for the film, and then later they would use those tips, those tools, how to beautify themselves in their regular life. Maybe not that lush, not too much makeup, but still some blush, some lashes, some eyeliner, some lips, all that presented in there. But that was all very classic. I never could see her with over-the-top makeup. I never saw her with anything smoky or with anything watercolored, with anything too blended or too blurred. So that was always that 50s Hollywood style, 50s, 40s. Her hair was always very tidy, always very black, very intense color. She actually went blonde for the role in the movie A Streetcar Named Desire, but probably that was a wig. I think that was a wig. So for the rest of her life, she kept that black hair. I'm not gonna divide this time on the decades, because more or less she kept the same style on her own. She didn't change too much, because in the 60s is probably the time when everything started changing completely, and then she passed away, so we didn't have a chance to see her, how she would be dressed. Probably she would do something bigger here, yeah? Eyes. If we talk about the prints, she would go for small stripes, polka dot, ornate mid-size prints. I never see her with too geometric, too sharp prints or too dirty, muddy prints. Casual outfits. I could see her in pants and tops. It could be wide pants because wide pants were very popular at that time in the 40s. In the 50s, they started going for like a shorter pants, showing the ankle. I didn't quite see her in that kind of pants though. I only seen her with pants with high-waisted, which would be pretty narrow at the butt area, and then it goes wider and goes to the floor, which looks actually great for theatrical romantics, because if they're wearing everything bulky, then that would not look great. But then as far as the pants are very tight at the butt area, then it kind of follows her narrow line, and then it goes wider. And then she has some high heels to maybe lift her up a little bit, and then it looks very elegant and great. And especially because of up here, everything is also pretty small. They look great in delicate lines. They look great in contrasted things, in small things, in ornate things, in narrow things. Something that is close to the body with waist emphasis. If we talk about skirts, elongated, narrow skirt. If we talk about the tops, it could be a shirt or blouse. Pretty classic, simple, or it could be with ruffles too. It could even be a t-shirt, a casual t-shirt. She could wear a white shirt, narrow to the waist. She could wear a blazer with waist emphasis. She would have some ruffles and small drapes. So ruffles and small drapes is just something that can look old-fashioned slightly on some certain pieces of clothes. So you should just watch where exactly you're using them. But in general, those ruffles and small drapes, they look great on theatrical romantics. They don't spoil their look. They don't feel like they look like a candy too much. I think personally, if theatrical romantics goes over the top and she is injecting her lips and then a lot of gloss, oversized lips, overdrawn lips, and too much makeup, very big cleavage, too sexy, I think she can look too sexy where it looks vulgar. So for her, a little bit go back to that classy sexiness. That would be the best. She was wearing suits too. And then if she would wear a suit, she would add some brooch here on top. Or she would go for a blazer and skirt. If she would go for a blazer and skirt, they were narrow shaped. They were a little bit like 19th century and with sharp sleeves. They look great with that. If we talk about coats, that would be simple and straight coat, but narrow. Sometimes waist emphasis, below knees, but open ankles. It could be also straight coats with fur. When we go to the 60s, then she had some wider coat with ornate pattern and fur, but never to the floor. I never seen her with coats to the floor because I think she understood that it would be a little bit too bulky for her and it would drag her down a little bit. So just showing the ankles, very delicate. They're very delicate. Everything too bulky, too huge, wide, that would drag them down. So for them, it would be better if they would show the hands, show the wrists, show the ankles. So the only things that she would wear to the floor would be whether long dresses, but they were very narrow and they had waist emphasis. So the proportions were in there. And then she would wear high heels, higher heels with these dresses. So that would not drag her down. So that is the vertical line what she was wearing. And then wide pants also could be to the floor. But again, slightly higher heels just to lift her up a little bit, but everything here, as I said at the beginning, with a narrow butt, and here would be narrow. And also she would wear some fur coats. Of course, at that time, there were loads of fur coats. Loads of beautiful dresses she would wear. I'm not taking dresses from the movies, because in the Gone with the Wind, she was playing older times. So in her career, she would pick up dresses. They were not extremely large, big and wide. They were all pretty narrow, pretty long dresses, beautiful ornate dresses with ornate brooches or with fabric belts too. Very beautiful. If we talk about accessories, she would wear brooches, different kinds of brooches. I was a teenager in the 90s to 2000s. So to me, brooch was something very old-fashioned, very like a babushka, you know, very, very grandma style. And now I think that it just depends. It depends what kind of brooch, where you place it, and where you also balance it with. So yeah, it depends on what kind of a brooch. And also I think it's a great way to glamorize the outfit wearing a scarf here with some brooch. But we're gonna talk about this later. Necklaces. So she would wear some medallions that would be ornate necklaces. She would wear pearl necklace and earrings. She never would wear something avant-garde or too natural, like wooden, or too many accessories, too many eclectic pieces, boho. So she would wear mostly like classic and ornate pieces, very delicate pieces too. She would wear also feminine and small hats. She would wear also long gloves. Glasses. When she was wearing glasses, they were mostly like mid-size or small glasses like a cat eye. Sometimes that would be squarish but not big. So that would be white or dark. White really created that contrast with her hair and with her skin, with everything. So they look great with contrasted pieces. Of course, within their color palette, but go for contrasted pieces. Bags were small, delicate, and sometimes with drapes and rounded shapes. Shoes were delicate and sometimes with some ornate details. Delicate or classic shoes. When she got older, she would still keep those narrow and elegant silhouettes. Always wearing jewelry, always glamorized in delicate makeup, very tidy hair. She cut her hair shorter later, but it always was very ornate, black, and very curly. We didn't have a chance to see her in the 80s, right? With the mullet stuff. But she would not do that. Why I chose her? Because I think that she's a very good representative of theatrical romantic bone structure in general. And also I think everything that she was still wearing, she was helped probably, or she did it herself. I think all that really, really goes along with her bone structure, with her vibe, with her self-presentation, if I can say so. Alright, that's it. I'm waiting for your suggestions. I can't wait to go to these videos too and just describe some of the casual styles of the modern stars. I would not probably review some red carpet stuff because the goal is different. In red carpet, you want to be whether very beautiful or you want to attract attention. So somebody would say, oh, did you see her in that dress? And then people start talking about her and she grabs a lot of money for that. So I just don't think that reviewing red carpet will help. Yeah, you just let me know. I think what would be cool is to review some of them casual outfit situation, because paparazzi now is working like crazy, so they are always shooting those stars outside on the street. Probably this is where we can squeeze out something interesting from that. So thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.